Probability of event when rolling a die multiple times. The example so far which we have taken, we had been rolling the die only once, right? Now this time we'll roll it 3 times and then find probability for different events. So the question here is, calculate theoretical probability of each event when rolling a die multiple times, right? Specifically for these questions, we are rolling it 3 times. The first one is probability for odd numbers 3 times in a row. That means you roll a die once, you get odd numbers. Second time again, you should get odd numbers. And third time again, you should get odd numbers. So 3 times in a row. So that is what you need to find. The second one is probability not odd number 3 times in a row. So all the 3 times we don't want odd number, and that is the probability which you need to figure out. And the last is probability for getting even number 3 times in a row, right? So these are the 3 questions for you. Think about them and then answer your question. Now the first one, probability of getting odd number 3 times in a row. So let's first figure out that if you have a dice, then in that case, what are the possible outcomes, and in the first row itself, what is the probability of getting odd number, right? So let's figure out that first, and then we'll get into what happens when you roll it 3 times. Okay, so that is how we are going to solve this problem. So when you roll the dice, what can you get? You can get either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So they are basically 6 numbers which you could get. And out of these 6 numbers, as you can see, we have odd numbers as 1, 3 and 5. So there are 3 odd numbers. So probability of rolling odd number is how much? Let's figure that out. So probability of rolling odd number is actually 3 out of 6. And 3 out of 6 can be simply written as 1 over 2. So that is the probability of rolling odd number once, first time. Next time when you roll the dice, what happens? That is an independent event. It is not really related with the previous one, right? So next time again, the probability is again half, right? So first time when you roll, the probability is half. Next time when you roll, the probability is again half. And the third time, if you roll, probability is again half, right? Because 3 out of 6, which is 1 out of 2. So basically, by rolling it n number of times, every time the probability of getting odd number is half only. Now we have to figure out what is the probability to get odd number 3 times continuously in the sequence. Should it be half plus half plus half, or should it be times? Of course, it is a very rare event that you throw the dice and every time when you throw 3 times in a row, you get odd number, right? Does that make sense? Well, it does. And that is how it is. When the events are independent and they have to occur like this, then the answer is product of those events, right? So write half times half times half to get your answer as 1 over 8. So that is how you get the answer for this particular question. Now the second part is, what is the probability when you not odd number 3 times in a row? Not odd number, but anything else. But 3 times in a row, you should not get odd number. So what is the probability of that? So it becomes a very tricky problem and very difficult to figure out. But well, we do have an answer for this right there. You know that probability of getting odd number 3 times in a row is 1 over 8. So for not getting that is 1 minus 1 over 8, right? So that is the solution, 1 minus 1 over 8, which is 7 over 8, right? So out of 8 chances, there are 7 chances that this is not going to happen, right? And there's 1 chance that that may happen. That is what it's trying to say. So the probability for not odd numbers 3 times in a row is equal to 1 minus 1 out of 8, and which is 7 over 8. Now the last question is for you to answer, that is probability of getting even numbers 3 times in a row, right? So try to answer this question and then we'll move on to the next topic. Thank you and all the best.